imaginations, excited in the delight of your emotions. Surrender to the lens of your desires. Deny yourself. Deny yourself.
Brothers! May I remind you, this is a holy monastic order. There are certain rules which we like to be followed. When we have a period of silence for meditation and reflection, we do not expect to have it disturbed by you two squabbling out here in the garden about whose turn it is to pick the strawberries.
Well, it was his turn.
No, it wasn't. Remember, I picked the strawberries on Tuesday. It's your turn to do it. It's your turn to do it today.
La. Oh, you fibber, you fibber.
Just get on with your work silently, the pair of you.
You're not. No. Me.
Your Grace. Wake up.
No, Mr. Who was the body? Never.
Your Grace. What? You asked me to wake you a few moments before lunch is served.
Oh, yes, of course, that's right. Yes, I think a little stroll beforehand always sharpens the appetite, you know. Okay.
But the funniest part, Your Grace, came soon afterwards, when the Archbishop himself slid in it and went arse for tit.
My word. But I think you meant base over apex.
So who do you think will win the ring race at Kempton Park this afternoon?
John, you are well aware that gambling is a sin.
You didn't say that yesterday when you had that lucky 20 to 1, Warwick.
Well, yes. Well, Providence guided my hand, yes. You know, I always look forward to Wednesday when we have a fish dish.
No doubt serving your blog to go with it.
Oh, exactly. Thank you, Brother Tobias. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Salmon. How absolutely lovely. Archdeacon, haven't you forgotten something? We haven't said grace. Here's Edwin. Come, my boy. Come and join us. Oh, yes, indeed.
Thank you, Uncle Bishop.
That's fine. Now, perhaps you would like to take grace.
No, I'll say it. Or about which was the young brother.
Anyway, this looks absolutely splendid. Well, rather of you. Were either of you awoken by that dreadful sound in the early hours of the morning?
Yes.
In the end, I had to get out of bed to see what it was. And there on the lawn were two foxes in the act of mating.
I guess what it was. Mind you, I haven't heard noise like that since I was watching that Vietnamese porn video a few weeks ago. I mean, I accidentally came across it while I was, something on the internet.
Yes, well, anyway. Now, getting involved with those sort of pleasures is one of the sins of which I am not guilty. I believe it is an act with which one can gain much enjoyment. Yet, it is still regarded as a sin. In fact, an unholy act when conducted outside of marriage. Even in a calm and peaceful environment like this one, temptation for indulging in the sins of the flesh must rear its head even amongst the monks.
Only yesterday I caught one of them behind the potting shed engaged in the act of masturbation.
Oh, shocking! I think I shall have to have a word with the Abbot about the evils of
Fiddling with yourself?
Well, I wasn't going to use quite such a crude expression, John.
Well, I quite agree with you, Uncle Bishop. It's dirty. It's dirty, dirty, dirty. It hurts your wrist and it gives you a sore willy.
Yes, quite.
Right.
I mean, sex, it is acceptable for the procreation of the species, but within a loving relationship. But it has to be a sin if it is done just for the sake of a few moments of carnal pleasure.
Well, at least Laura doesn't want to do it. Not even when we're married. She says she's going to remain a virgin because she wants to become an angel.
We must meet her at some time, Edwin. She sounds a delightful young woman. Perhaps you could talk to us about Adam and Eve at your sermon to the monks next Sunday. I do apologise for the wine. It is rather sharp. My wine merchant was supposed to have delivered a case yesterday, but it never arrived. Evidently, it will be here tomorrow. I just had to go into the village, and this was all I could actually find.
Tastes all right to me.
That's why I stick to cider. You can't go wrong with this. Of course, Your Grace, you are now banned from the wine cellars, aren't you?
Yes, it was a little bit of a misunderstanding. I didn't think that the Abbot would mind me if I helped myself to the odd bottle here and there.
You have drunk nearly 2 bottles of his finest claret, 10 or 12 bottles of his excellent Chardonnay, and 3 bottles of his vintage port.
Yes, well, anyway, changing the subject. There's an interesting programme, documentary, in fact, on the television this evening. It's all about what women were wearing 100 years ago. Now, evidently, it seems that the Vogue was all about...
Hello everyone, and welcome to Evensong. It's nice to see you all here again this week.
Only because we were told to be here.
I know.
We listen.
For today's parable,
the pair of
my
you.
Uncle Bishop asked me to do the one about Adam and Eve, but I don't want to do that. Their story should not be in the Bible. They walked around in the nude, and you could see all their things, their bits. Anyway, they also stole apples which weren't theirs, and they did sex to each other. Now, Laura, that's my new girlfriend, doesn't want to do sex. She's very sensible, and she said that if Adam and Eve had played a game of Cluedo or a Monopoly instead, then the world today would be a better place. Unlike my last girlfriend, Gillian, she's always wanted me to... But that's now in the past. So, for today's parable, I have chosen the one about the War of the Worlds. Now, I know that strictly speaking, it's may not be in the Bible, but it does teach us about self-pollution. Sorry, I was getting mixed up with a talk which the Abbot was going to give to me and some of the monks a few days ago. Now, what I meant was self-preservation. For those of you who have not seen the film, it's about these strange Martians who invaded Earth in their spaceships, and they just zapped everyone to death. It scared me when I first watched it, because I thought it was a news item or a documentary. My girlfriend Laura wasn't with me, so I had to hide behind the sofa on my own. And Laura doesn't like watching scary programs either. She says they make her feel unhappy, and she doesn't really like those David Attenborough nature programs either, because they're all about animals killing other animals, which makes her sad. Anyway, War of the Worlds is evidently a film, so it's not real. And even if the Martians did invade us, I'm sure they would be kind and nice, just like the lady in the grocery shop in the village. In the film, the surviving people fight back, and they suggest that to settle who's in charge of our planet, they would play a football match against each other. And the Martians agreed, and the game took place in a big stadium, and there were lots and lots and lots of people cheering on the humans. Well, the ones that were left anyway after all the zapping and killing. For some reason, the Martians took on human appearance. I suppose it helped them better to run around and kick the ball. Anyway, when we scored, there was a great cheering, and when the Martians scored, everyone booed loudly. And in the end, Nottingham Forest, that's the humans, they beat Queen's Park Rangers, that's the Martians, by 3-1. And then the Martians sulked off back to their own planet. And when I told Laura about this, she said I must have imagined it. And I told her that it was true because I saw it on the television. And she said that I must have fallen asleep or accidentally switched TV channels. And I said, no, I hadn't. And she said that Martians probably don't exist anyway. And I said they do because they were playing football. And she just said, huh. So I called her a big poo face, and that ends the parable for today. Amen. Yeah.